H2 Show listeners, what's up? What's going on? It is almost 6:45. It is the summer months. We're sleeping in. We're having fun. We're enjoying ourselves, and that's okay. Today, we're going to talk about one of the hardest habits to break. It's the hardest habit for me, and that is procrastination. And I think it is the one that has cursed us all and led us to missing assignments back in high school, or having mom and dad have to run out and get some poster board right there at the end of the evening, just before the Walmart closed. Thank goodness for 24-hour Walmart. I know there's been times that I needed to print something, and I ran the printer completely out of ink. Didn't tell mom and dad. Mom and dad had to sprint out, go to Walmart, usually dragging my little, shoeless self out as I'm putting shoes on in the car to go get some printer ink. So that is what the topic of today's show is how do we avoid that? How do we avoid that struggle? And have you ever found yourself in this situation where you will do anything, and I mean anything, to avoid doing what you're supposed to be doing? It's like, hey, I need to balance my checkbook. You know what really could use a little work? Oh, let's just go ahead and organize the fridge, right? Or, I should really fold the clothes and wash the laundry. But what I'd rather do is reorganize the entire house. And then you end up with just this pile of nonsense right there in the middle of the hallway, and you never get all the way through it. And those are the kind of habits we want to break. So let me tell you about a fictional character. In this case, Raj is his name. Not to be confused with Roz from Mike Wazowski, but Raj was the fictional character's name that we're coming up with in this story here. I'm trying to put on the Do Not Disturb. I apologize for the delay. Bada bing, bada boom. Now we're there. Now I can focus on you and not on me. So Raj was the king of all the last-minute miracles. His team never knew, is he going to hit the deadline or is he going to disappear? And to be honest, we've all kind of been there, right? Like, we've been Raj. And it wasn't laziness that was causing Raj to procrastinate. And it's not laziness that's causing you to procrastinate. In this case, Raj was having some fear. It was fear. Fear of starting, fear of failing, fear of doing it wrong. And so what did Raj do to overcome this? Well, here's how he overcame it and how you can overcome it. You break down the big tasks. So you break them down into micro steps. Instead of saying something like, hey, you know what? I need to unload the dishwasher, or I need to wash the dishes, right? It's start with, well, let's just unload the dishwasher. Okay. That's a lot less intimidating. I'll tell you this is a bonus one. This is a kind of begin with the end in mind. As my sister said, do for future you, right? And then you'll tell yourself, thank you to future you. Begin with the end in mind. If you know that you will only fold a certain amount of clothing, right? Like half a load, use the quick setting on your washer and wash half a load, fold and put away that half a load as it comes out of the dryer, and build momentum starting small. So breaking those tasks down. It could be something like, I got to write a report. Well, the first step of writing a report is what? Opening the document to prepare the report. So start there. Like, hey, I got micro steps now. I'm not just going to wash the dishes. All right. I'm going to unload the dishwasher. All right. Then I'm going to rinse off some dishes. Then I'm going to load the dishwasher. And by this point, the momentum's built. And you'll go ahead and clear the whole sink, or you'll clear up until where you can, and then you'll pre-rinse the other ones so you can put them in the dishwasher when the other, cycle's done. All right. Second thing, use the 2-minute rule. Trick yourself. If it takes 2 minutes or less, just go ahead and do it. Don't wait. Don't plan for it. Just do it. Do it right then. And 3, build momentum. And this is the Pomodoro method, right? We talked about this. 25 minutes working, 5 minutes off. And then reward the effort, not the finish line. Look, if you make progress, that's good. That's something to celebrate. And you do not have to finish everything in a day. And that's something I think that causes procrastination, is projects that do take time. that take more than a day. You have to have those incremental benchmarks, those micro steps. Now, Raj, in this case, he hit his deadlines. He did. And the fridge was still a mess. He didn't get it organized, but that's okay. But that is something you got to understand. You can use procrastination to your advantage. If there is something that you're avoiding, and you can put it on the calendar or put a deadline to it, you can use it to motivate you to do other things that you needed to be doing for the last month, 2 months, 10 months, a year, whatever. So use it when you can. With that, I want to transition over to the verse of the day, and then we're going to talk about a few more things, like some studies about procrastination and why these rules work. So the verse of the day comes from Proverbs 13:4. It says, "The soul of the sluggard craves and gets nothing, while the soul of the diligent is richly supplied." Working hard is a biblical principle. Hard work, investing time, getting up, getting rolling, not being a slug or a sloth and being lazy. Just get up and get after it. Okay, so let me go to a study. And one note I had in here: procrastination isn't a character flaw, so do not let it. Do not get down on yourself and shame yourself if you've been procrastinating. It's a signal that maybe the thing that you're planning is right now too big for you and you need to break it down. Listen to that signal and then start moving. Okay. So let's go to some studies. So I don't, like necessarily how silly sometimes studies sound, but this one's pretty easy. This study was done and published in the Psychological Science in 2002. The author was Don Arley and Klaus Wartenbrock. But the study is titled "Procrastination, Deadlines and Performance, Self-Control by Pre-Commitment." And I thought this one was interesting. So the purpose of the study was to test whether people perform better when they're allowed to self-impose deadlines and if those deadlines help reduce procrastination. So in order to run this study, they took 60 MIT students and then split them into 3 groups. They were in one class, and they had the first group had evenly spaced deadlines assigned by the professor. 2 had self-imposed deadlines, and the students chose when to submit their work, so they had to put a deadline to it at the beginning of the class. And finally, number 3, they had a single final deadline for all their work, giving them max procrastination opportunity. All 3 had to complete papers, and here were the key findings. So the students with evenly spaced or self-imposed deadlines did significantly better than those who had one final deadline. Think about this as your online classes. Originally, like SISM 3100 or whatever it was my computer information science core class that we had to take at West Georgia. In that class, all the stuff was due at like 2 dates. There was a midterm and then there was a final. And I missed probably 2 or 3 assignments getting those in, or had to come down to the very last second to get those in, and didn't score so great on those. So when you think about it, when you've had online classes in past lives that didn't have regularly scheduled deadlines, I promise you that professor experienced what procrastination looked like. They had to grade a lot of papers right at the last minute, and they gave out a lot of zeros or non-participants, I'm sure. So that's what this study showed, that students with evenly spaced or self-imposed deadlines did significantly better, but those with professor-assigned deadlines outperformed the self-imposed group. So even better than a personal pre-commitment was a pre-commitment made by a third party, one with authority. So the conclusion: people benefit from structured deadlines, but most aren't good at setting those optimal ones for themselves. So that's the other thing, right? Is you sandbag, as they say, or you hedge, and you hedge for yourself to have as much time as possible. So if you were self-imposing a deadline, even though you couldn't give yourself one final deadline, you might put your deadline as close to that final as possible, again, giving yourself maximum procrastination opportunity. So what this tells me is, how can we use this study to understand ourselves and therefore perform the work, and get the best and the maximum output for ourselves. The thing that some people have tried to use to accomplish this are these apps. And in these apps, for example, one is called Beeminder. Beeminder, you set a goal and then you pledge money to your goal. And if you fall behind, it will charge your credit card. Now, on on that app, it's called the Visual Yellow Brick Road, and it shows your progress. But the reason this works is there's actual stakes involved. You've put some money up. Now, pretty sure this particular one donates the money to a charity. In some cases, a charity you choose that you don't like, so that you're feeling even more obligated to get the work done. The second one's called Stick K. That one also, you commit money. If you fail, it donates to a charity you hate or a friend that you owe money to. There's an optional like referee for honesty that you can add to that. But again, it leverages loss aversion. You don't want to lose. So that's what I'm saying is if you want to set this up for yourself, one of the things you can do, again, back to the steps. We break down into micro steps what we're going to do. That's going to overcome that psychological fear of getting started. We use the 2-minute rule. If something can be done in 2 minutes, we do it now. That builds some momentum. We build further momentum by working 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off, and then we finally reward our effort, not the finish line. So we give ourselves these incremental benchmarks. But if you really want to put some stakes to it, if it's a personal goal of yours or an objective that you have, you can do things like, hey, I'm going to make a bet with my friend or with my wife or with my kids. And if I lose, then I have to pay it out. And you can do those things without these apps. But these apps, the reason why they work is they leverage things like loss aversion, which would be your grade in college. That's why some people did so well under the gun of having deadlines in college or in high school, is because your grade mattered. Well, in this case, you can make it matter because of money. There's another app called FocusMate. This one shifts away from kind of loss aversion into accountability. What it does is you schedule these like 50-minute co-working sessions. Now, for those who are ADHD in the crowd, this is one of those things where you can actually kind of vamp off the energy of other people and y'all can work jointly, not on the same objective, but because you are both there and in the room, you ultimately get more work done. You're paired with a stranger over webcam in this app, and you say your goal at the start, and then you report out at the end. Now that it drives accountability and gives you a socially enforced deadline. So my point here in all of this is to say, if you want to overcome procrastination, we gave you some easy steps to overcome that fear of getting started. And you can put some stakes to it so that your body and your mind knows, I really got to get this done. Right? And some people that aren't great self-starters, that's what they need, is they need some stakes to, why do I need to get this done? And why do I need to get it done right now? So I hope we've eliminated a few things for you. I hope you have some takeaways to go and to work with. When you can, get some socially enforced deadlines, put some meetings out on calendars. Even if when you're feeling froggy, go ahead and put the meeting out there. That way you're held to that standard that you're going to have the data and the information prepared before you get to the meeting. And that will drive you to behave a little different. So until next time, start small, stay steady, keep driving forward with purpose, make those hard choices early so that you don't have to make excuses later. I love y'all. I want you to be successful. We kept this under 15 minutes. Great job, us. Thank you for joining me. It's just about 7 o'clock. The sun is out. It's going to be a pretty day. Even if it rains, it's still a pretty day because this is the day the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. I have to say, see you real soon because at the end of the day, the day got to end.